Hi guys, today I welcome you all to this new course by Life Science Exam Notification channel. Most of you are aware that I have prepared this course for cell biology and I will teach the cell biology complete syllabus here. So I have prepared this course keeping in mind most of the competitive exams of life sciences like CSIR NET, ICMR, GATE and also M.Sc and B.Sc students level. So I will cover from बेसिक टू एडवांस कॉन्सेप्ट्स। आज के इस लेक्चर में मैं डील करने वाली हूँ आपके साथ सेल बायोलॉजी के कुछ बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट। सबसे पहले अगर हम बात करें व्हाट इज अ सेल, सो मोस्ट ऑफ यू मस्ट हैव नोन दैट सेल इज द मोस्ट बेसिक यूनिट ऑफ एन ऑर्गेनिज्म. We have learned in our basics that cell is the basic, fundamental, and structural unit of life. This definition we have studied in our 11th and 12th class. We will further simplify this definition. We will explain this definition, and we will learn more about a cell. So, cell is derived from Latin word cellula, meaning compartment. सेल टर्म डिराइव किया गया है लैटिन वर्ड सेल्यूलर से, जिसका मीनिंग है कंपार्टमेंट. इट इज एन एक्वस कंपार्टमेंट सराउंडेड बाय अ लिपिड बाइलेयर कॉल्ड सेल मेम्ब्रेन. ये एक एक्वस कंपार्टमेंट है जिसकी चारों तरफ एक लिपिड बाइलेयर होती है जिसको सेल मेम्ब्रेन बोलते हैं. देन इट इज अ माइक्रोस्कोपिक स्ट्रक्चरल एंड फंक्शनल यूनिट ऑफ ऑल ऑर्गेनिज्म. एक सेल इंडिपेंडेंटली भी एग्जिस्ट कर सकता है. So it is capable of independent existence. For example, amoeba, which is a single cell organism. So amoeba can exist as a single cell. So it is unicellular, right? Next, if we talk about the organization of cells in our body, so first cell is single cell, then cell divide and accumulate to form tissue, and then different tissue form organs, and then different organs combine to form organ system, and then organ system forms the whole organism. So basically there are two types of cell: eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell. So two major classes of cells, that are prokaryotic and eukaryotic. So first let's talk about prokaryotic cell. If we talk about prokaryotic cell, in Greek, prokaryote means pro means before and karyon means nucleus. So before nucleus, that is they don't have nucleus, and lack membrane bound nucleus, they don't have membrane bound nucleus and organelles, and they also lack membrane bound organelles. Example of these prokaryotic cells are bacteria, blue-green algae, mycoplasm, and PPL. Then eukaryote. In Greek, eu means true and karyon means nucleus. So here the cell contains what? True nucleus. Matlab they have a nucleus. Then cells contain membrane bound nucleus and other membrane bound organelles. सो इन मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड ऑर्गेनेल्स के बारे में हम अपकमिंग लेक्चर्स में बात करेंगे. मैं आपको वहाँ पे डिटेल में एक्सप्लेन करूँगी. अभी के लिए हम याद रख सकते हैं न्यूक्लियस and mitochondria and chloroplast found in eukaryotic cell. These are the membrane bound organelles. If we talk about the example of eukaryotic cells, that include protists, fungi, animal, and plants. Next comes the difference between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. So here are given the characteristic of prokaryotic cell. Here are the type of cell. So characteristic cell characteristic, eukaryotic cell characteristic. We will compare these. So first is the characteristic. First characteristic is size of cell. So for prokaryote, it is typically around 0.2 to 2.0 micrometer in diameter. Whereas for eukaryotic cell, it is typically around 10 to 100 micrometer in diameter. Okay. Then the example of prokaryotic cell I have also discussed in the previous slide. Prokaryotic cell के examples हैं bacteria and archaea, and for eukaryotic cell, animal and plants. Then if we talk about the nucleus, we have talked about it in the previous slide too. प्रोकैरियोटिक सेल में न्यूक्लियस एब्सेंट होता है एंड यूकैरियोटिक सेल में न्यूक्लियस प्रेजेंट होता है. Then comes the membrane enclosed organelles. Okay, so organelles which have a membrane. Prokaryotic cell में membrane enclosed organelles absent होते हैं, whereas in eukaryotic cell membrane bound organelles present होते हैं. Examples include lysosome, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, and chloroplast. Next characteristic on which we can differentiate these two is flagella. Flagella consists of two protein building blocks, so it is made up of proteins only. And then if we talk about the eukaryotic cell flagella is complex and consists of multiple microtubules. Then next characteristic is the cell wall. In prokaryotic cell, usually cell wall is present and is somewhat complex. And then in eukaryotic cell wall is present only in plant cell and fungi, and they are simple. But cell wall in eukaryotic cell is absent in animal cell. Okay. Next characteristic, plasma membrane with steroids. So steroids are lipid drive compounds. So prokaryotic cell have usually no steroid, and whereas eukaryotic cell have steroids present in them. Next is the cytoplasm. Here in prokaryotic cell, no cytoskeleton or cytoplasmic streaming is there, whereas in eukaryotic cell, cytoskeleton is there. They have a definite shape and a cytoplasmic streaming is there. These terms which I am not clearing here, I will clear in the upcoming lecture, as we will discuss the different organelles and the different components. Next is the ribosome. Ribosome in prokaryotic cell are small, whereas in eukaryotic cell have larger ribosome. Cell division in prokaryotic cell is binary fission. Okay, here is binary fission, and in eukaryotic cell it is mitosis. Okay. Next is number of chromosome. Number of chromosome in prokaryotic cell 1, but not true chromosome. They don't have true chromosome. They don't have membrane bound nucleus. So we can't say that they have true chromosomes. Then if we talk about eukaryotic cell, they have more than one chromosome. Then prokaryotic cell. In prokaryotic cell, there is for mode of reproduction, no meiosis there, and transfer of genetic material, that is DNA, is only through fragments. And this process is known as conjugation. They form a conjugation trope and transfer the material from one cell to another. Whereas if we talk about eukaryotic cell, it involves meiosis. Okay, then here is a note. Prokaryotic cell as well as eukaryotic cell are covered with the plasma membrane, which is located in the top of the cell membrane or mucus capsule. So prokaryotic cell and both eukaryotic cells have a plasma membrane. Plasma membrane we will discuss in the next chapter about the different components of plasma membrane, its basic structure, its theories, various theories which are given for the plasma membrane, and what all studies have done on plasma membrane. So I will discuss all these things in detail in the next class. Here also difference between eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell is shown. ये differences मैंने आपके साथ previous slide में भी discuss किए हैं, like absence of membrane bound nucleus in prokaryotic cell, whereas its presence in eukaryotic cell. So you can see here it is a membrane bound nucleus, whereas in prokaryotic cell the genetic material is in cytoplasm itself. No membrane bound nucleus is present in prokaryotic cell. Then we can see the absence of membrane bound organelles in prokaryotes. Here no organelles or non-membrane bound organelles are present. So there are no membrane bound organelles present. Okay. Understand the difference. I have first said that there are no membrane bound organelles. There are some some non-membrane bound organelles only. Wherein in eukaryotic cell, we can see here are membrane bound organelles. This is the mitochondria. These are peroxisome, and these is Golgi apparatus. So, and endoplasmic reticulum. These all are membrane bound organelles. Next, if we see here, comes the discovery related to the cell. So these discoveries you may have read many times starting from your 9th standard. First discovery was made by Robert Hooke in 1665 in a piece of pork. He have seen the compartment like a structure and coined the term cell. Later, the first living cell was observed by another scientist, and when Leeuwenhoek, and he named it Animalculus. Then, after the discovery of the cell, two scientists, Schilden and Swan, they developed the cell theory in 1839, which I will discuss in the upcoming slides in this lecture only. Okay. After Schilden and Swan comes the Rudolf Virchow. What he said, he extended the cell theory which was given by Schilden and Swan, and he extended this theory in 1855 and said that all cells arise from pre-existing cell, and he said this as omnicellula e cellula, which means all cells arise from pre-existing cells. Then in 1866 Robert Brown discovered the nucleus. तो नाउ डिस्कस द सेल थ्योरी. सेल थ्योरी कहती क्या है, सबसे पहले हम ये पढ़ेंगे. सेल थ्योरी स्टेट्स दैट ऑल लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स आर कंपोज्ड ऑफ वन और मोर देन वन टाइप ऑफ सेल्स एंड द सेल इज द बेसिक स्ट्रक्चरल यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ. सो सेल थ्योरी कहती है कि लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म एक से ज्यादा टाइप के सेल से मिलकर बने होते हैं, एंड सेल लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म की एक बेसिक स्ट्रक्चरल फंक्शनल यूनिट है. देन कम द एक्सटेंडेड फॉर्म of cell theory which was given by Rudolf Virchow, and this theory was of Rudolf Virchow was also known as modern cell theory. This theory says that all cells arise from pre-existing cells, meaning omnicellula e cellula. इसके बाद है कुछ important point related to cells, लेकिन इनको सेल थ्योरी में ना तो रुडोल्फ वर्चो ने इंक्लूड किया था और न कि ही शिल्डन और स्वेन ने इंक्लूड किया था. सो ये पॉइंट्स थे क्या. ऑल सेल्स कंटेन द हेरिडिटी मटेरियल दैट मेंटेन द सेल फंक्शन एंड इट्स पास्ड एंड पास इट ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन. मीनिंग सारे सेल्स के पास हेरिडिटरी मटेरियल होता है जो कि सेल के फंक्शन को मेंटेन करता है. हेरिडिटरी मटेरियल का मतलब है यहाँ पे बेसिकली हेरिडिटरी मटेरियल का मतलब होता है that stores genetic information, so it can be passed on from one next generation to next, like our DNA, which is a hereditary material. Then energy flow occur within the cells. Next क्या बोला उन्होंने कि एनर्जी फ्लो जो होता है वो सेल्स के बीच में होता है, मतलब एनर्जी इज ट्रांसफर्ड और एक्सचेंज बिटवीन द सेल्स. कमिंग अप टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड वी विल सी हियर सम स्ट्रक्चर which may be living but an exception of cell theory. First is viruses. These are ultra microscopic, 20 to 30 nanometer in diameter. They replicate only within the living organism. The genetic material of viruses can be double-stranded DNA or double-stranded RNA or single-stranded DNA or single-stranded RNA. It can be circular, linear, okay, and the genetic material is enclosed in a protein core which we call as capsid. Then comes the second structure, that is viroid. So what are viroids? They are strands of covalently closed single-stranded RNA, and viroids are smaller than viruses, and they are capable of causing disease, means they can cause a disease. Next to viroids comes the third structure, that is prions. Prions are basically misfolded protein particles. Okay, so they are not folded properly during post-translation modification. So infectious protein particles similar to viruses, but they lack nucleic acid. Remember, prions lack nucleic acid. Many exams have given this question, that what are prions, or what is the which of these have don't have nucleic acid. So answer is prion. Then the fourth structure is virusoids. What are these? They contain several thousand of nucleotide, but they do not code for protein. सो वायरोइड्स के बारे में अभी तक हमारे इतनी ज़्यादा रिसर्च नहीं हुई, बहुत कम रिसर्च हुई है, तो अभी इसके बारे में बहुत कम इंफॉर्मेशन मिली. सो आई हैव मेंशन्ड अ सिंगल पॉइंट विच आई हैव गॉट फ्रॉम वेबसाइट. So then is the difference between the plant and animal cell. Here is plant cell and here is animal cell. So what is present in animal cell, what is not present in animal cell, what are the things that we got, what are the organelles that we can see in the plant cell, and what we can see in animal cell, we will discuss here. So plant cell is usually larger than animal cell. Here the cell wall is present, plasmodesmata is also present, middle lamella, primary and secondary cell wall are present. So plasmodesmata is present as discussed in this point. Then chloroplast is also present here in plant cell. Large and permanent vacuole is also present. Tonoplast present around the vacuole. Okay, and lysosomes are rare in plant cell. Whereas if we talk about the animal cells, so animal cells are generally smaller than the plant cells. एनिमल सेल्स में सेल वॉल एब्सेंट होती है, प्लाज्मोडेस्माटा भी एब्सेंट होता है, क्लोरोप्लास्ट भी एब्सेंट होता है. क्लोरोप्लास्ट किस चीज के लिए होता है? फोटोसिंथेसिस के लिए. सो प्लांट्स फोटोसिंथेसिस करते हैं? द आंसर इज नो, विद सम एक्सेप्शंस. That are the connecting link between the plant and animal cell. Those are comes in the exceptions. So plant cells do photosynthesis, so they have chloroplast, whereas animal cells don't have chloroplast simply. Next is vacuole, is small in animal cell and is temporary. Then tonoplast is also absent in animal cell and lysosomes are present. So this was about the basic of cell. And in the next chapter, I will deal with the plasma membrane, its structure, its various theories which are given to explain the structure of the plasma membrane. So please do subscribe to my channel for the upcoming video notification, and like this video if you find this helpful, and please do share it with your friends so that they will also get the maximum benefit of these lectures. I will try to improve myself one by one. You can also comment your doubts in the comment section below and let me know. I will clear your doubts. So thank you. With this, I end this class.